Hi everyone, welcome back to the Evermore YouTube channel. It's Chris back with my rant stroke thought of the day, and it's a rant. It's a little mini rant, but a rant nonetheless about another media Muppet. That's right. Well, I say another media Muppet. She seems to be a regular in this segment of our channel, and it's all about the story that's doing the rounds. You've all seen it. Ironically enough, this story is dropped right on Eddie Howe's 3-year anniversary as Newcastle United manager, when everybody else is basking in the glory of how well Eddie Howe's done in the 3 years that he's been here. A lot of the local journalists, even some of the more divisive journalists like Luke Edwards, talking about what a great job he's done for 3 years. This one journalist, no surprise, she's a Macam as well, decided to go and launch a story about Jose Mourinho reaching out to intermediates to say he'd be interested in the Newcastle job if Eddie Howe leaves or is sacked. Now, there's no surprise here about the timing of this from Louise Taylor, who was an absolute shithouse of a journalist, to be brutally honest with you. She's been on the media Muppets before. And the last time we spoke about this horrible witch of a woman was when she was talking to Eddie Howe about Sandro Tonali's condition. And I think she started asking whether it is a real illness. She started prodding and poking away about Sandro. And I think Eddie Howe kind of shut it down and said he's not going there. And she just made herself look like an absolute fucking tit, to be honest with you. But she decided to come out and tell everybody that Jose Mourinho is obviously on the charm offensive. He's talking about coming to England. He's got unfinished business, and Newcastle United is a job that he's got his eyes on. You know, and he's made kind of no secret of his desire that he'd be like to be kept abreast of the situation. Well, no shit, Louise. I mean, I'd like to be kept abreast of the situation if the sack Ed Balls on Good Morning Britain because he's a bumbling tit who can't read an auto cue. Doesn't mean I'm going to get a fucking job, does it? I'm available, GMB, if you want to come and speak to me. I might have to tone down my swearing a little bit, possibly for 7 o'clock in the morning. I can try, but I can read the auto cue better than that wanker can. But that's the point. People can cover jobs. People can want jobs as much as they want, but you're not going to get the job necessarily, especially when the guy in the job right now is currently enjoying an unbelievable loving, not just by the supporters, but by the football club as well. Look at the social media that's been going out about Eddie Howe over the last few days. That half-an-hour surprise documentary that we got on YouTube, which was absolutely amazing to watch. It was brilliant. You watch it back and, you know, listen, Eddie Howe may have frustrated some of us over the last 3 years. He'd frustrated me at times with his team selection, his stubbornness, his lack of substitutions in game. But when you watch that back, it's a little gentle reminder just of how far this guy has taken a football club that was in pieces. It was broken on the floor. It was certified relegation candidates, really. It was left to rot and burn and just like a smelly turd in the corner covered in lint by Mike Ashley and Steve Bruce, the latest of the mediocre shit managers that we had for year after year after year. Eddie Howe galvanized this squad. He got this squad to stay in the Premier League for one. Then he got it to the Champions League, largely with a large bunch of players that were here pre-takeover that we all thought were dog shit. He managed to turn those players into Champions League players. Now, the only criticism you could possibly make is that he hasn't improved upon those players, and a lot of those players are still here. Now, the club can take responsibility for that too. FFP and PSR can as well, but there's no secret here that Louise Taylor has launched this piece right on the fucking day of Eddie Howe's 3-year anniversary because she's got an agenda. There is no doubt in my mind that this woman has an agenda. She's a Mac and we all know it. She's got an issue with Newcastle United. She throws our old geopolitics, our own kind of viewpoint about our owners. And listen, she's entitled to that viewpoint. A lot of people have that viewpoint. They ain't going to win Humanitarian of the Year any fucking day soon. But she can't get that past her head. You know, she gives kind of slight little backhanders about, oh, Eddie Howe's not going anywhere. He's very happy where he is. But she knows exactly what she's doing, putting this fucking story out on the 3-year anniversary of Eddie Howe staying at Newcastle United. And most people will look at it and say, fuck right off. Now, if Eddie Howe does not achieve the targets that set out for him by the owners of this football club by the end of the season, then he might very well be on his way out. And Jose Mourinho might very well be a viable candidate. But at the minute with Jose, he didn't leave the Premier League in a particularly good vein of form. He probably would want a cup for Spurs if they hadn't binned him the day before the final, or whatever it was, because that's what Jose does. He wins you cups, and we're dying to win a cup. But Eddie Howe's got us to the cup final and 2 quarterfinals. We could win a cup this season. If Eddie Howe wins a cup this season, he's going fucking nowhere, whether we're top 6 or not, because he'd be the first Newcastle United manager since the Fairs Cup to win as a proper trophy. I don't count the little certificate into Toto with a £5 fucking Curry's voucher or something. Not my shop, by the way. I wish it was. I wouldn't be doing this if it was. I get free equipment. Yeah, there'd be way more HD going on in the background. But that's my point. If Eddie Howe wins a cup with his football club, he can write his name in the fucking history of the football club. You know, but these kind of things don't help. And it's journalists with agendas. We've seen it all over the place. You know, the media have agendas as well. I saw a rancid video the other day about that jumped up little twonk Rory Jennings, belittling Brighton and Sky laughing about it and all that. They've got serious agendas against teams that they don't deem to be elite. But when it comes to Louise Taylor, she is 100% a Mackham, and that's the reason why she wants to dig it in to Newcastle and mischief-making cause bother as well. It won't affect Eddie Howe, won't affect the players, and a large portion of the fans probably won't give it the light of day. I'm getting off my chest because that's what I do. It's a content channel, and that's what we do. We create content. I talk about things that fucking wind me up, and Louise Taylor wound me up because she's a fucking arsehole. There was no reason to do that story on this particular monumentous day. She could have let that day go by if she had a little slither of class in a wretched little fucking Mackham body, but she didn't. She thought, fuck it, I'm going to put it out just as the 3-year anniversary's gone in there and the love in. Let's have a massive piss all over the Newcastle parade, because that's what the Mackhams try to do. They try to piss all over Newcastle's parade, but sadly, you can't piss upwards, guys. You can only piss downwards, and you need to piss right up there because you are miles down from us and you ain't coming back anytime fucking soon. But let us know in the comments below what you think about Louise Taylor's crass article. Do you think it's just a complete waste of fucking space or not? We always like to hear from you. Drop a comment in. We'll do our best to reply and come back to you as quick as we can. Obviously, it's a big weekend for Newcastle United as well. We want to continue that winning streak, which Louise Taylor did slightly mention in about this much of the column after she was loading up Jose Mourinho to be the new Newcastle manager. So, big game for us against Nottingham Forest. We'll be back with a post-match review of that. Back on Monday night for what's going on as usual. Keep it ever more, guys. If this is the kind of thing you like, smash subscribe down there. Help get us to 9K. We're only a couple of hundred away from it, so hopefully you can get us there. Recommend us to family and friends. We'll be back with more Newcastle United content soon. Louise Taylor, honestly, go back and watch you play fucking, I don't know, Wycombe Wanderers, whoever the fuck it is you're playing this season. You're losing all your best players anyway, for fuck's sake. Chris Rigg will probably be at Dortmund next year. We'll be playing for you lot, as well as Joe Bellingham will be at Fulham or Brighton or something like that as well. But yeah, you just keep reporting on a good football team to the decent journalists who don't mischief-making cause shit like you do. But that's me done for today, guys. Have a better evening. We'll catch you later. Take it easy.